think it should look like a flower garden. It should be easy. They should always feel motivated. Whereas you saw it as, I should fail, I should get knocked down, it should be messy. Do you think there's something to that?
Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story. And they think I was born this man. They see what was created. They see the end of the job. They didn't see what it took to get there. And to develop a man like this, I realized that, like to sharpen a sword, to make a sword, you have to put it through fire. And you have to beat the fucking shit out of it. Repeatedly, you have to beat the living shit out of it. And so my mindset started to become that. And I realized that nothing hard comes from soft. When people have that mindset of I failed, it determines how you look at that. I started looking at that as a whole different way of living. Like, how many people could do what you do, David? It's that internal conversation I started having that was motivating me. Like, I knew where I came from, but I knew where I was going. Like, how many people could come from your fucked up background? You couldn't even read. And then I put myself in a deeper hole. So all this was inspiring me. All this fucked up shit was inspiring me. Like, I'm from a guy who couldn't read, who got caught niggas on all these things growing up. His dad beat the soul out of him. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story. And they think I was born this man. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story. And they think I was born this man. I was 175 pounds. Now I'm almost 300 pounds. I'm in a worse hole. But it's gonna make for an even better story at the end of all this shit. So I started turning all these conversations into power. All the failure, all the rocky moments that we have in life, they're so powerful to say, what if I can get up and make this turn out to be what I want it to be? I have a way of visualizing. I have a way of visualizing and talking to myself and finding great strength in great misery. And it's those people who are able to be in the fucking sewer. It's very easy to be motivated on those good days of life. It's that cat who can be at the bottom of the sewer, who can find great motivation alone. There's no coach, there's no trainer, there's no nothing. No mom, dad, sister, cousin, brothers, wife, husband. It's you and you alone in the worst possible spot of your life. If you can find drive, determination, motivation in those times alone, you figured it out. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story. And they think I was born this man. Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Well, I know for a fact there's something to that. And that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. They don't know my story. And they think I was born this man. We have it all in our minds. It's how you talk to yourself and how you visualize coming out. It's how you see yourself in the dungeon of life. Many of us can't find strength there, but there's so much strength in the dungeon. There's so many people just stay there. It's that motherfucker who's willing to come out of it that becomes glorious.
is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap? That's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? To determine if you're human, be silent. It burns. Silence. His world emptied of everything except the hand immersed in agony. He thought he could feel skin curling black on that agonized hand, the flesh crystal dropping away until only cold chaos, men turned their thinking over to machines in the hopes that this would set them free. That only permitted other men with machines to enslave them.
That's a very scary situation when you are
Akira.
East Coast clout.
But no, it's like commitment, man. It's like life is hard, right?
Like, yeah, you might get hurt. It's like, you know, your heart might get broken. You know? It's like you might lose your job, but you still gotta commit. You know? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. And it's like, you know, you meet somebody and, hey, you know, you like her and she likes you, and you're hesitating. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, you might get hurt. You might lose something, but it's like you can't experience the joy that is intended for you in life if you don't go. You gotta go, man. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know. You gotta commit. Don't hesitate.
Objects in the world, and a memory of them in time. Of them in time. Speed moves, all of them vanish. The objects in the world, and a memory of them in time. Of them in time.
And the real nature of the things that senses experience, especially those that entice us with pleasure or frighten us with pain, or are loudly trumpeted by pride. To understand those things, how stupid, contemptible, grimy, decaying, and dead they are, that's what our intellectual powers are for.
Speed moves, all of them vanish. The objects in the world, and a memory of them in time. Of them in time. Speed moves, all of them vanish. The objects in the world, and a memory of them
dying is. And if you look at it in the abstract and break down your imaginary ideas of it by logical analysis, you realize that it's nothing but a process of nature, which only children can be scared of. And not just a process of nature, but a necessary one. The objects in the world, in a memory of them in time. Of them in time. Speed moves all of them vanish. The objects in the world, in a memory of them in time. Of them in time. Grasps God with what part of himself he does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does. How man grasps God with what part of himself he does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does. How man grasps God with what part of himself he does so, and how that part is conditioned when he does.
Is a management issue. You could be in a shit state of mind right now, but you can make some decisions to adjust that, and over the next couple hours, you'll get to a much better place. And these constant management decisions, they waver in and out of your life on a daily basis. Like this idea that you could have a good mindset and then all of a sudden you'll be happy. I mean, that's horseshit. It's like the tide. It comes in and it comes out. There's gonna be days where you're just not feeling so good physically. That's going to affect the way your happiness level is. It's never static. It's never exactly the same. Me? I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck. That's what I would say. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck. That's what I would say. It's like hunger. It goes in and out. It's always there. This is something I've cultivated for a long time and avoided things that make me unhappy and figured out what those things are and been very rigid about eliminating them from my life. There's a lot of cynicism in these days about inspiration, motivation, because there's a lot of fake shit. I see a million of these inspirational quote pages run by people that are probably depressed. You know, you see a lot of people that are talking about how to get ahead in life, but they're not really doing anything themselves. So there's a lot of cynicism involved in that, but there's also sincerity in it. If you just look at it with a pure heart and a pure mind, you can get a lot of energy out of that. And when you're around happy, inspirational people that are successful, it makes you feel better and you get inspired. And if you act on that inspiration, your life will be more fulfilled. And it's not just inspirational in terms of financial success, but in terms of doing difficult things. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck. That's what I would say. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck. That's what I would say. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that think somehow or another you're going to get to some place where you're living in silk sheets and you're getting your toes done, someone's dropping grapes into your mouth. I don't want that. That guy's not going to be happy. He's going to be bored. An hour into the grape, get those fucking grapes away from me. Stop painting my toes. What am I doing in this bed? I got to do something. The human organism, the animal that we are, needs This is the great joy that you have in taking care of your children. You can protect your children from the elements and the enemies. And it's also the great sadness that you see in losers. When I see a loser, I see some guy who's 43 years old, who lives in his parents' basement, and he fucking hates the world. I'm like, that was a baby that somebody just gave shitty nutrients to. Food or in thoughts and ideas and examples. And this kid developed these horrible, self-defeating patterns of behavior that have led them to this point where they're this person with no future and no idea of how to get out of this rut and probably never will escape it. And might just wind up sucking on a gun. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck. This is what I would say. Is because we have been fed this line of horseshit that you're supposed to seek comfort. And I don't think you are. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks. Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello sadness, my old friend. Hello depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a fucking human. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, family, struggle, learning are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person. I'm happy as fuck. This is what I would say. I'm happy. I'm happy as fuck. This is what I would say. I'm pretty fucking happy. I'm pretty fucking happy. I'm pretty fucking happy.
I believe all of us humans have an equation, like, pi is 3.14. That's how you solve that equation. Every human being has a different equation.